Good. And just think leg yield with the inside leg. So you're really getting the responsiveness coming off the left leg, number one. And then of course your outside leg is still there, which helps keep her going forward. That's right. Good, and stroke her neck again. Good, good. And when you stroke her neck, still keep your body position. Just give a little stroke and then take your contact back. That's it. Good, let's make our circle a little bit bigger so you can go out past the white poles. Good, and I want you to show me your thumbs a bit more, thumbs on top. So we have that straight line from elbow to bit. Good, now the circle so far has been a really funny shape and we're kind of making a corner over on the wall there. So here's the top of your circle. She needs to meet the other spot on the wall. That's looking better. So there you're on more of a curve that time instead of getting to the wall and then turning. Better. So yeah, really think about that your circle is staying centered. The curve is staying consistent. Good, Leo. So she got to the wall a little too early that time, and maybe partly because she was pooping and slowing down. That's a spot where you can add your stick as well, right? We're not accepting her to slow down when she's going to the bathroom. It's something that young horses do and we train them out of it. And she's certainly ready to be asked to continue working through that. That's right, good girl. Now there, I love how straight she's coming through the middle, right? So again, we talked about the back coming up and then her just going through the middle down to your contact. Good, okay, so add in a few steps of walk and trot forward. Good, good, awesome. I like how you insisted on forward right away. Good, think about where your thumbs are pointing. And we're really gonna work on eye control today, right? Because that was the thing that bit you in the butt a little bit on Friday, was sometimes dropping your eye at the jump, right? So even now when you're riding on the flat, you wanna practice your eye control so that you're building the right kinds of habits. Shane, have you read the book, The Talent Code? No. I want to loan it to you. It's a really interesting book about the commonalities between different athletes who excel in their sports. And it explains some of the physical reasons for it. And one is this idea that the more you practice in the right way, it actually builds this myelin in the brain, which basically coats these nerve pathways. It's like having high-speed internet instead of dial-up. So the more you train in the specific way, you're strengthening your network all the time. So they talk about like soccer players in where was it? Portugal, maybe? Where they're saying that everyone plays soccer, but they're on these tiny, tiny little fields. And because these athletes are forced to work in very cramped conditions, they learn incredible footwork, right? And they've got the most control over the ball of any other nation. I might be quoting the wrong nation here, but it's because it's all they do, it's all they spend in their spare time, and they're working in difficult environments, and it actually creates all of these connections. Good, okay, let's canter. Yes, good. It was a book that David O'Connor recommended in our coaching symposium, and it's been very helpful. I've only read about half of it so far, but it's been quite fascinating. Good, thumbs up, Leo. That's right. So really feel her through your elbows, right? Think of your elbows connecting to the bit, connecting to the motion of her neck. Good. Now again, make sure your circle doesn't get bigger on this side than the other side. Think of staying even on both sides of the pole. Good. Now lengthen canter. She needs to be looking left. Lengthen canter. Work this bend. She's completely bent the wrong way. So work your fingers, shake her off the bit. Yeah, it has to be subtle though, right? If you get too strong without enough leg, she's gonna lose her balance, which is what happened there. Good, keep the canter coming big, big, big. Go out on this side of your circle. That's right. Allow a little bit through your outside rein so you can get her to turn her neck, right? If you want her to bend left, you have to give a little bit through the outside rein. Good, give your right hand a little bit forward, that's right. Good, and stroke her neck. Good, there, feel her respond to that, and lengthen. Allow, big canter, much more, jump off canter. Yeah, good, it's too bad it was such a big long class and you didn't get to see the jump off today, because man, you would have seen a different stride out of those horses. Good, good, and go 2-point and work her up off that inside leg, thumbs on top. Think of the ribs pressing out. Good, good with your eyes, awesome.
Yeah, we're watching Brian warm up Faust.
Yeah.
Total uneventful, just running around the arena.
Yeah.
Everyone else is going big and large and doing all this.
Well, Faust also, and some of the horses do this, not all, but Faust also would have been hacked earlier in the day. So they, you know, on class days, usually they'll ride him twice. So he might have had a more interesting ride earlier in the day. But then it's just basically about relaxation and obedience.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and with it, you know, he gets to know his horses so well, and of course the stallion, Faust, is so different from the other ones.
Totally. It was like, he comes up to the jump and Faust just launches at Mach 2 to the jump.
Yeah. This is lovely, Leo. Good, okay, sink back in, and let's make your circle smaller now. So next one, you can go inside the poles. So did you see Faust's round, or you were leaving right then?
I saw that was the last round.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, he's working. He'd run a rail down to it.
Yeah. Yeah, he had the rail after the water, I heard. Which is so tough, right? You've got the open water, and then you've got a really tall, airy vertical right after. Yeah. Good, good. And trot transition. Both Spitfire and Faust are quite muscly, quite strong. So that's a tough challenge for them, would be to that contraction after the open water. Yep. Okay, let's turn right when you're ready. And we're going to work on the right bend. A little more trot. Pressing the shape through her body as you sit twice. Working trot, bend to bend. Feel your outside rein. Just drop the outside rein contact there. Good. Put her on a small circle. Good use of your stick. But I want to see it with your reins in one hand, right? When you're using a jumping stick, unless you're a beginner, there's very rare occasions you would use it on the shoulder. Right leg, go forward, go forward. Go sideways and forward. She can't get bottled up with those side reins on, right? We talked about how that's dangerous. If she feels bottled up, go sideways and forward. Good, go sideways. I don't see a lot of sideways happening here. Thank you, good. Lengthen your reins a little bit. She's just getting stressed, right? There, now praise her, right? She just needed the pressure to come off a little bit. Good, good, praise her again. Yeah, that's right. So you wanna make sure that you get the message through, which is what you were working at, but also there has to be a bit of a release of pressure so that she sees the light at the end of the tunnel and doesn't just feel like, oh my goodness, I've got nowhere to go. Good, good. Now ask for a little bit of counter bend. Bend her to the outside, increasing your outside leg. Keeping the push, increase left leg. Good, little half halts on your right rein is acting like the outside rein now. Come, come, come. Feel your right rein a little more. Whip on your leg, right? Something funky's happening in your hand there if your whip's poking out to the side. That's it. Good. As soon as she gives you the left bend properly, we're gonna switch her back onto the right, where she's almost there. Almost there. Feel your right rein. Right rein wide, but like this, Leo, not like that, right? That's gonna tip your whip away. There you go. There, now straighten her out. Good girl, stroke her neck. Yeah, good girl, good. And go sideways off the right leg, onto your bigger circle, and canter. Good girl, there we go. Okay, trot right away. Right bend, go sideways a little bit. This is the side she finds so difficult. Good, praise her. She was really obedient about that. Yeah, feel your posting diagonal. Okay, it was a good canter transition. Now whip on your leg. Reins might be a little bit too short here. Yeah, stretch up, lift your stomach up. Yes, Leo, good job. Eye control, eyes up and ahead. Think about where your circle is going. Is it staying round? Is it staying even? Right? I should be able to take any stride anywhere on your circle and it should match. That's right. Good, up into your 2-point. Pressing her out around your right leg. Good, good. Yeah, so you're getting a nice right bend here. I know she's a little stiff in the jaw, but the shape overall is good. Excellent. One more circle around the pole, and next circle we're gonna go over the pole. So over the pole, you'll need to make sure your eyes are up and to the right. Your outside leg continues to stay on. Good. 3, 2, 1. So we're a little off track there. Outside rein half halt. Good. Look at the pole now. Got to find the center. Okay, so we missed the pole altogether now. You're going much too far out. Outside aids. Turning, turning, turning. Yes, Leo. Good. You're still a little bit to the outside of the pole, but much better. Look at the inside of the pole now to help you find it more to the inside. Inside. So she's still going too far out. Look at the inside of your pole. Turning, 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 turning. Much better. Now we're talking. Good. One more like that. One more. Got a little bit quick in the canter. Look at the inside of the pole now. Keep your inside bend. Wait, 2, wait, 2, wait, 2. Good, right idea. Good. Okay, let's take a little walk break. Good, and give her some praise there. Good, it's a good long workout at the beginning here. Okay, while she's catching her breath, I'm just gonna have a look at what we've got to work with here. Then you're gonna go across the next diagonal over the box jump behind you. And then across the next diagonal over the 3 boxes here. Okay, so your first turn, maybe let's just go outside those 2, like the jumps that are like the V. So just around those, and then getting straight here, jump in, 1 stride, jump out. Rhythm, straightness to the box, all the way around. So you'll be going past the flower jump there, and then diagonal over the box here. Let me just see here. We don't have a very straight track here. So let's change this a little bit. So after you jump that box, I want you to turn up the quarter line, kind of as if you're going to go to those poles on the inside quarter line. So you're turning early and then coming to this jump as straight as you can. Okay, so your track is going to be from here. So you're coming straight, and then it's like a bending line almost, right? Okay. All right, I'll take those off. So I want to see very thoughtful tracks on your way to your poles, on your way to your jumps. And then on the way there and over the jump, we're thinking about eye control. So you're softly looking at the jump and counting rhythm on the way there. And then as soon as you're at the jump, your eyes shift up. So you start riding the landing side before your takeoff, right? Start thinking about the landing side. Okay, just walk a sec, walk. Okay. What's that?
Should I start on that side?
Exactly. So you're over on the wall, over by where those flowers are, and then you're doing a big half circle into the one stride. Does that make sense? Okay. Easy. So make sure you're counting your rhythm. Good, super. So I saw you counting rhythm to your first jump. I didn't see you counting to your second jump. Let's go down to the end and do the last jump one more time. Making sure the canter is staying the same, right? That you've got a canter you're happy with through the end of the ring and onto your turn. And that's the canter you're counting and keeping on the way to your jump, okay? It worked out okay, but she was losing rhythm on the way there. Okay. Now eye control was good and your counting was good. So just walk a sec. So the next piece of that, when you have a count and a rhythm to work with, is sometimes we do need to help with the distance a little bit, right? So in a perfect world, you needed to make a decision. Were you going to wait and squeeze one more stride in, or were you going to press her? You can see where her takeoff is here, hey? So for a jump of this size, that's a little bit long, right? We'd want her feet to be here. So if you can just squeeze her up 1 foot closer to the jump, you're going to get a much more normal feeling jump there. Okay? I'm going to watch from here. I want you to do it one more time. It's harder for me to see exactly how close you are when I'm in front of it or behind it versus at the side. So same process, counting so you can find your jump nicely. Decision. Perfect. Absolutely perfect, Leo. Good job. Okay, and walk. So the great thing about making a decision is that when you make a decision and you're clear with your decision, she's listening, right? She was like, okay, I can wait. And it worked out just perfect. Okay, so just let her catch her breath here. I'm going to turn this into a one stride, but I want you to ride it exactly the same way. Rhythm count, and we're not just counting mindlessly, right? You're not counting just because. You're counting in order to keep track and to help keep rhythm, right? So you've started to count before you've turned, you're feeling those footfalls, and then you're working at keeping that. Whether you need to add a little bit of leg, whether you need to add a little bit of half halt, right? And usually it's a combination of the two that helps you keep quality. Okay, so this is going to be the same track in here, but now we've got one stride. Oh, goodness, Blaze. So did you see any clear rounds? I guess you must have. Yeah. Did you see, I heard, I forget his name, the Mexican rider, I heard that he had one clear, like with kryptonite. Did you see that horse?
Was he at the beginning?
I don't know.
I know I saw two clear rounds.
Okay. Cool, I wish I'd been able to stay and watch. So let's do this now, out of a quiet but in front of your leg canter. You're gonna come jump this little box here, land, press forward, get a bigger canter as you go down to the end of the ring. And then on the short end of the ring, you're gonna rebalance and collect the canter back to your regular canter and jump this jump. Okay, so you're starting regular, then you're going big and forward, and then you're settling back to jump this jump nice and straight, and then you're finishing on your one stride. Okay, so you need to be counting everywhere, making sure you're just as straight now that you've got two jumps as you were with it was just a single one there, right? You've got to keep your leg on over, in the middle, and over again. Okay. Beautiful, great track. Good, keep a little bend in your hips here. When you half halt, stay tall, but try not to lean back. Good leg, Leo. Decision. Good. Okay, so your last fence is my favorite. This one. In terms of position, and I've got a thought for you, and we started talking about this a little bit last lesson, that she was knocking the jumps down with her hind feet, and that I feel like you're sitting up in the air too quickly sometimes, which is going to make it's going to make your weight heavier behind, right, which brings those hind legs down. So I really saw that over the second jump, that you set up a little bit too quickly and then she rubbed it with her hind feet. Whereas over this jump, you landed in 2-point, right? So she had time to get her hind feet up and then down as you were starting to stretch back up again, right? Basically over until her feet have cleared the rail, you need to be in 2-point, right? So if you think about landing in 2-point and then stretching up here, her hind feet have already passed that rail. Okay? You did that exactly right here. So let's go do our course again with that feeling. I loved your track to the first jump. Let me make that bigger so it challenges your position a little bit. The other thing, so 2 things to do differently. 1, you're landing in your 2-point over each jump. And 2 is I want you to go more forward and lengthen after this jump. Remember, we're going to do that forward galloping piece. So I want to really see the difference between going and coming back. Okay, so this tall cross rail will challenge her straightness, challenge your straightness, right? Jump it in the middle, it's not very big. You jump it a little bit off to the side and it's pretty big, all right? Okay. Landing in your 2-point and going for your gallop before you bring her back to fence 2. Okay, halt. Just halt quietly. Okay, and let's do a turn on the haunches and we're going to go jump that jump again. Good, super, good. Walk to canter. So there was a jump that needed a decision, right? You were in between strides, and so she didn't push off the ground well at all. She kind of hurdled it. Right flexion into the canter. Ask her to look to the right. Yep. Outside leg behind. Good. Counting. Decision. Good, Leo. Gallop. You're on your gallop now. It's gallop time. Good. Look at your jump. Settle back. Good. Counting. Decision. Counting. Decision. Yes. Yes, I love it. Position through the one stride is perfect. Good, okay, and you're making good decisions and you're staying low in the saddle, right? You're not getting your body ahead. You're staying low and waiting for the jump. Very good. Okay, so let her know she's good there and just keep her walking. So now over fence 1, you're gonna really keep your leg on, your outside leg on, I mean, so that you've got that control over where her shoulders are going. And we're gonna do the bending line now. So cross rail, bending to vertical in 6 forward strides. You're going middle to middle, which means I want you to be jumping this jump in the center. All right, both fences in the center. So when you're riding to fence 1, you're counting your 1, 2 count. And then once you jump in, because you're on a line, you're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that helps you to know where you're at if you need to press a little bit forward to get her feet here in the 6, or if you need to wait a little bit to get her feet here in the 6. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 on the diagonal, 4 AB. Off you go. Let me just tuck her bridle in here, sorry. These keepers are too big, so they always slip out. Okay, halt, just halt. So you feel there, halt right now. And your turn on the haunches. So there, when the decision doesn't get made and she makes that awkward jump, it really sets you up to have a hard time in your line, right? So we need to make sure you're definite at fence 1 and then look in the air for the center of fence 2. Yes, look. Good, Leo. Okay, so walk a sec. So why do you think this got awkward?
Because I tried to help, but I kind of made the wrong decision.
Okay. I don't think you made the wrong decision. I think the reason it got awkward was because of what was happening 6 strides away and 3 strides away, which was that she was getting faster and faster. And then when you tried to help her, it's because you realized like her canter's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you're realizing like, I don't really want to leave the ground from way back here. So then you try to fit that last stride in. I think your decision was fine, but it's really hard to add a short stride out of a big forward canter, right? So you need to keep her canter more regular, so then your decision is a smaller decision. Does that make sense? It's not so extreme from big canter to tiny canter. Okay, so I thought your first fence was pretty good. You're a little bit slow turning, right? This one is set in quite a bit. So you need to be kind of turning in the air to line up best with the next one. But your decision was good and clear there. Your leg was good and clear. Leg good and clear here. It was a little bit long, but you were there. Your leg was on, no problem. And then, yeah, the canter just got away from you a little bit to the combination. How many strides did we do in the first line?
5.
Was that?
I counted a bit.
Okay. Definitely counted late. So you did 7. So we had talked about doing 6, and the reason you did 7 is just because the track went out a little bit and then turned. So when you think about doing the 6, it's going to be a more direct track. Okay, you need to think about your turn in the air and keep that outside leg on to find your next jump. So you can use your opening inside rein and that outside leg to help find that track smoothly. Okay, and then with the opening inside rein and the leg on, you're not going to be taking away from her canter as you try to turn, right? It needs to be out of the floor. Okay, let's do that course one more time. I want to put some oxers up here in a second, but we just want to make sure that you're in a canter that's staying workable and consistent.
Hey, Leora, I
Yeah.
have your jacket and your riding jacket.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you left them.
I didn't know, yeah, I didn't know where Jenny put my jacket, but I don't know how I left my riding jacket there.
Well, maybe they're not yours. Maybe they're Jess's?
Okay, I thought I had mine, but I will check. Thank you.
Okay.
Good job. Yes, Leo, beautiful ride, and great job in your position again in there. So what a huge difference in the quality of your canter coming in. And you were counting, but not just counting, counting and riding the count. Okay? Awesome. Good, okay, she can have a little walk break and put the oxer up. Now here, it was a little bit longer than the last time, and the last time was as long as she felt comfortable doing, right? So this time it was that little bit longer, and she went, I can't do it, okay? So again, that comes down to experience, but as you get used to her stride length and her style over the jumps and what her canter feels like, you're gonna know that, oh, I've got to fit one more stride in here with a ton of leg on, right? The earlier you see that, the better. Okay, I'm being pretty picky there, but that does come down to accuracy of what she's going to feel comfortable with. Keep her walking, okay? It's not good for her to stand still after she's breathing hard. Sweeping turning here. So you felt how being a bit more direct and starting your turn a little bit earlier in that line allowed you to do the 6, right? Still, you could make that even a little bit firmer in that first stride, keeping your opening rein, a little stronger outside leg, so that you're keeping your pace up a little bit, jump to jump. Good decision. Making sure you have the canter you want. Good. 4 strides in this line. Decision. Good, good man. Good job staying with her jump. Okay, good. So if you had the exact same jump here again, what did you need to do right now? So recall that it was deep and that she jumped up. Go, exactly, right? So because now, instead of jumping over her jump and landing it, going forward into the line, she's kind of helicoptered and landed with not a lot of energy. So then you've got to press your gas pedal down, and the sooner you do it, the better, right? So if you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, then you'll get there on 4. But because she lost so much energy in the air over this jump, then you landed, you kind of kept doing what you were already doing, and you got there on 4.5, right? So she did 5. So again, if you have a jump that's sticky, just like you did here, right? It was a little bit deep, and then you pushed in the combination. That was good. That's what needed to happen here. Go forward. Okay? So let's do from the cross rail again. So you're going to do your bending line again in 6. Make sure you're on that early, right? Opening rein, outside leg, 1, 2, get on that early. 6 strides, 4 strides, combination. Circle, Leo. You need a little more canter here. Working canter.
There will be no canter. I'll leave it up by a counter. Okay.
Up off the inside leg. Decision. Good. Good. Decision. Come on. Yeah, you gotta help her more than that, right? She just gave you all of her heart there. And if you had made that mistake a second time, she would have stopped because she just gave you everything she had. Okay, you've got to help her more in the middle there. You did such a good job in that 4 stride line. Come to your combination again. She might be a little tricky in here now, right? She didn't like that very much. She had to work so hard. So come with energy in her canter and don't let the canter get bigger and bigger. Feel your lead there. 1, 2. 1, 2. Keep it the same. Yes, there's a better leg. Good, Leo. Good, praise her up. Really good girl. Good. So the only issue there that time was that she's starting to cheat her turn, right? Did you feel her kind of land like this? Okay, but especially because it was hard for her the time before, and she gave you such a good effort and then came around and went right to work again, I think we can leave her there today. Okay? Very good. Any questions about today? Anything you saw at the show that you're wondering about?
I have one question.
Water jump?
Would you extend on the water jump or kind of compress?
You have to extend, but the trick is you have to extend and get to a deep distance. So it's really tough, right? And we've talked about this before, that when the jumps are smaller, it's harder for the riders to see a good distance, right? When the jumps are up here, it's a little bit easier to find your distance. It's more in our range of sight. So those water jumps, right, you've got some little brush in front of them, but it's quite small, and you have to basically get your gallop going right to the base of that brush, because those water jumps are 13 or even 15 feet across. So you don't want to be long, because then you're making 15 feet into 18 or 19 or 20 feet, right? You want to get right to the base, and then your horse has to do the flying squirrel and stretch across. And then the hard thing, like you saw in the Grand Prix today, is often the course designer then will add a vertical fairly close that you've got to land all stretched out and then reset your canter quickly, right? And then jump the vertical, which is like what we were practicing here. It was lengthen, shorten, and then jump, but in a much smaller window of time. And that, I'm going to forget now. I think it was a recent Olympics. I have such a bad memory. I should really know this. But they had the water jump in the middle of a bending line. So you had a bending 5 strides to the water jump, and then a bending 5 strides to another jump. Just crazy. So talk about riding on railroad tracks, right? You had to be so accurate to get the job done there.